All right, this is going to be the traffic info series. We're about to bring a number of different products to market that will help our Speedway out and the individual operators in their local markets. And the three topics that we're going to focus on are the consumer insights, impressions, and the satellite metrics of finding best billboards. The Speedway is going to need all three of these tools to be able to convince the buyers of scale of what our footprint is and what we represent. All right, this video topic is for satellite metrics. This is a tool for buyers to analyze best billboards for campaigns and also a tool for media owners to identify new locations. I'm going to give a quick overview and then come back into it in just a second. What are Quende metric overview? What are Quende Metrico traffic metrics? These are groupings of data that are going to identify out-of-home locations with the highest traffic intensity. It's a brand new product and a new concept with over 15 different international patents on the analyzing satellite imagery. Basically, we're going to be able to have, as an example, two locations that may have the same impressions. It's hard to understand that they can, but they can be different locations and have the same one, but they may have physical differences. For instance, they may have different sizes. You could be on a traveled highway and one would be a poster size 612 versus a 1448. Obviously, one will be better than the other one. The other one could be at 6 feet of height, and the other one could be at 60 feet of height, as we see many times in Georgia and some of these places with high trees. Also, they could be illuminated, not illuminated. There could be offsets from the road, close to the road, far away from the road. They also could have view site limitations, either on curves or angles or blocked by buildings. And this is what some of the imagery and some of the technology can do for us now. This is going to analyze all the vehicles on the road at any one given snapshot, 3,500 square miles at a time. Boom, they can be able to go in and just in an instant be able to isolate that differently from any of the different mobile carriers. So the results of this are going to identify best billboards in an area, and it's going to be an easy way to have a ranking system to be able to see that. So much like our school grading system of ABC, we'll also be able, in addition to that, have percentages of averages, like this board is 125% of the average or 80% of the average, which should be lesser than. So why do we need this satellite traffic metrics information? One, it's going to give the budget buyers additional tools. Once they have the cohorts and the consumer insights and the impressions, they're going to be able to then figure out which one's the best billboard, given the information that they have, and give it a comfort to be able to buy from us. We're going to give those tools to those buy sides to be able to help analyze, make their life easier. It's going to enable them to then compare any different market. They can compare Ardmore, Oklahoma, and Dallas and LA if they wanted to, if those are the three cities they had campaigns running, and it would be able to equally compare them between those areas. It's going to give Speedway a really big tool to help us compete against the larger players that are out there that have this buying ability for one call comes to it. We're able to do that, but we need these tools to be able to help convince the buy side more so what we're doing. The interesting thing is that this is going to then allow those buyers to compare those best locations in the markets as we talked. And we think that this is going to become a truth point by identifying all the traffic on the road at one time. This is going to help give credibility and checkpoints, truth points, as I like to say, against the mobile data, the impression products, and different things that are out there. It's also going to give us a solution in the event that privacy or identity from mobile phones becomes more and more draconian and there's less and less data that's provided there. We're going to be able to have a solution that will stand aside from that, but then dovetail into it if it needs to be, without invading anybody's personal privacies. So what was this involved the Speedway on our traffic metrics and Metrico involved? The one key big thing is Metrico, because it's a new product, it started out initially out of the chutes seeking MRC accreditation. They've already passed their pre-assessment capability. That means that they have a company structure in place that they can attain assessment. And we're currently curating data in 3 cities of different sizes to be able to start that accreditation process early in the second quarter of 2022. There's going to be a very affordable solution based on this, based on our bulk distribution capability. It's going to enable us to help. Key thing for our media owners is to identify future site locations before we permit or get lease acquisitions. You literally are just going to have to provide the lat lawn, the size of the board, the height of the board, the declination of the board, where it's located. And along with your other stuff, you can be able in the market to see, is that a board that's above the average location? Is it an A board location or a C board location? All before you commit any financial resources to it. I think it's going to be a huge, huge help for people in that regard. It's also going to help with M&A activity. And a buyer comes along and you're looking, there's been a lot of that going on now. You'll be able to go out and say, these are my best boards. Here's where I sit within the market. And you can actually fight for those prices a little bit easier with some very, very solid data. And so lastly, you'll be able to compete against local competitors. A number of different folks, especially that don't have any accreditation and any kind of numbers or any way to really have comparison. It's just site locations and the ability of your salesperson to do it. This is going to give you an empirical way to say, this board is 120% of the market. It's an A board. And you can fight for your price accordingly. So we think it's going to be a very, very good tool for pushing your local sales. This is going to be available to subscribers in the second quarter of 2022, hopefully a little sooner, but it's probably going to be then. I want you to give me a shout. We're excited to have this as one of the trio of products that are coming along. Just excited that we can be able to do for all that's all coming forth in the first half of 2022. Give me a shout.